cracks I wanna beg, maybe those.
Welcome back to another episode on Sew Simone. I am Simone and I am sharing my journey as a very beginner sewist. Today I'm going to be making a beautiful pair of drawstring linen pants. I am not following a pattern because I love to make my life difficult. What I actually am doing is I'm following a self-drafted pattern by a YouTuber called Soy Fam. I'm sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it will definitely be linked below. So what I've been doing all morning is making the main parts of the pants. I still need to do a few other pieces, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And I'm going to be using a beautiful linen blend fabric today. It's this gorgeous stone color and it is honestly the softest linen blend I've ever felt. It's going to be so perfect for this pair of pants. And the reason why I actually decided to make a pair of linen pants is because we're going to a little beach town here in Mexico called Puerto Vallarta, which we've never been to before. So very much looking forward to that. But I've only got about 2 days to make these pants because there's a few other pieces that I need to make this week for that getaway. Historically, I've taken more than 2 days to create each piece that I've made so far. So that being said, we need to get these pattern pieces cut out. So I've got both of the panels cut out. So we've got our 4 main pieces of the pants. I watched a video the other day. Before she even started sewing her linen pants together, she overlocked the entire edge of these pieces and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. So I'm going to be doing that before I move along and add in the pockets like how the lady shows in this video. Ooh, these are going to be so good. These are our 2 front pieces, our back piece. I don't actually have an overlocker just yet, so I'm going to be doing a zigzag stitch. I'm going to have it on zigzag with a width of 2 and my needle is on the very right hand side. All right, we have got all 4 panels zigzag stitched the whole way around. Obviously the most ideal thing would be to overlock this, but if you don't have an overlocker like me, we zigzag. So this is the back. By the looks of things, these pants are going to be very wide and baggy, which is great. I already made a bit of a boo-boo. When the lady cut her pattern out, she added an extra 4 centimeters to the bottom of the pants, which I did not do. I only did my 1 centimeter seam allowance. So I think these are going to be more like ankle grazers, but it's okay. Not the end of the world. Now what we're going to be doing is I'm taking my front panels and I'm going to be measuring out some pockets. There's not much explanation as exactly how to do this. I'm just kind of winging it. This is the front panel. This is like the crotch area. I'm taking a piece of paper, folding it in half, just putting that up to the corner, and I mean, seems like my phone will fit. I've actually never done pants. This is my very first time making pants, which is really exciting. I really am a pants girl. I love myself a nice comfy pair of linen pants, especially where we live. We live in an area called the Riviera Maya in Mexico, which is in the Mexican Caribbean. So it is extremely hot and humid, like 10 months out of the year. I mean, we're in October right now and it is so hot outside, I don't even want to talk about it. All right, so the pockets are cut, but now my issue comes in with this video. She doesn't show what I need to do next. It's just like a split second and pockets appear. So I'm not exactly sure how we're doing this. I've got a vague idea, but we're just gonna have to try and figure this out as a team. What I can see is she's made a diagonal line across the pocket piece. I think I'm gonna do something like that. Okay, and then what she's doing is putting the pockets up on the very top and towards like the middle part. I know for a fact she's sewing down this diagonal line. She's sewing the pockets together. No, this is wrong because this needs to be doubled. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. She's got it folded over. I think she's only sewing one half of the fold at that diagonal. I think I'm going to have to construct this with pins to try and see before I sew things in place, and then it's a disaster. Wait, why is this so wrong? Okay, I figured this out. Hold on. I've got this.
You did it, girl.
Thanks, girl. And then you get that, which would then be a pocket. Okay. We have great news. I figured it out. So, just to show you, this is a front panel. I've got a pocket. Okay, so after much agonizing over how to do this, I finally learned how to do this type of a pocket. But now I'm going to show you exactly how I did this. So we're starting with the front panel facing me. Then we're going to take the right side of the pocket, put it over, so we've got right side facing right side. I'm going to be sewing right down that line, and then I'll show you once we're at the sewing machine what we do next. All right, so good side facing good side. We're gonna fold that over. Now we've got bad side facing bad side. So now I'm going to take this end of the pocket that is not yet secured. I'm going to fold it back on itself exactly in half. It creates that little corner pocket effect. We're going to sew down the bottom of the pocket just to close it off, but it's not going to be attached to the pants. So this will be the right side of the pants. You've just got this little flap here, so I'm just sewing this little portion of the top of the pocket to the top of the pants, and then closing off the bottom of the pocket, but not securing it to the pants. I didn't get as far today as I thought I would, but I'm really hoping that the pockets were the most complex part of this project. And the waistband. I foresee the waistband being a little bit complex because we need to do holes for the drawstrings, which I've never done before. So far, we've got a self-drafted pattern. We've got all of our panels cut out. We've got pockets successfully done in one side. I'm going to have to unpick and redo on the other side, but that's not a train smash. Tomorrow, we'll be putting it all together and hopefully finishing our nice pair of linen drawstring pants. So we were working on the pockets and I said that I'm going to have to redo them. Well, now I'm really going to have to redo them because I was laying my panels out and I was like, why are these panels that currently have the pockets so big? And then I thought about it and I went back and I was like, oh, damn, I've put the pockets on the back panels. So essentially we'd be ending up with pockets over here, which is obviously not the goal. So before I can move on, I'm going to have to unpick these pockets and put them onto the front panels. I really would love to finish this today. It's already midday, so I don't have many daylight hours, but I'm going to be moving as fast as possible. And yeah, hopefully we can move on tomorrow with my next project, which is going to be a beautiful little Peter Pan top. This is Sally the Seam Ripper, in case you've never seen any of my videos before. We are best of friends. I love this fabric I'm working with. I wish you guys could feel it. It's so lovely. It's like exactly what you would want for a nice flowy breezy pair of linen pants. However, even though I did my zigzag stitch the whole way around the perimeter, it's fraying a lot. So I don't know if I'll be so quick to pick up this type of fabric anytime soon until I have a serger. I did ask in a previous video, but if you have a serger that you absolutely love and can recommend, I'd really love to hear your suggestions.
With my eyes open, wash just wanna hear you use your lungs. Call it God, call it happenstance, a second chance.
So now the whole pocket fiasco is over and I am thrilled with how they've turned out. So now we're at the fun part where we can actually start constructing the pants. So I'm going to take a front piece and I'm laying it down with the right side facing up. Now I'm going to match up the crotch corner. Okay, so I have a little bit of a dilemma. I've pinned up the second piece. I've done it like corner to corner starting from the top. This is the front. So the back is at least 5 centimeters shorter than the front, but only on the side seam, not the middle seam. And I didn't have this problem with the other two panels. So I think I might have cut just this one piece wildly wrong, but I like cut them doubled up, so I'm not quite understanding how I went wrong here. Also, remember I didn't add those extra 4 centimeters on the end when I cut the fabric out, so we're already looking at a bit of a shorter pair of pants. But now this is pretty significant. So I mean, obviously I'm not going to start again, and there's nothing I can really do right now. I've got an idea. I have seen like a cute little ruffle at the bottom of pants before. It might lean more to the side of looking like pajamas. I do have that solution in mind if these do end up being too short. Anyways, I'm headed to the sewing machine right now. We're going to sew it all together, try them on. This is actually the side where I messed up the bottom, and it looks like it's still going to be long enough where I don't have to add that frill, so that works out nicely. I'm a beautiful boy. Show everyone that horrible moose. Did you absolutely kill him? Eh? You killed him. In the video tutorial I'm following, she just goes straight to joining the legs together. However, I want to just go a step further to make these as clean as possible. I'm going to be ironing out all of the seams. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I'm a real big fan of ironing. I really just feel like it makes your pieces that much cleaner. So yeah, I'm going to be ironing these seams out, and then I'm going to just be doing a zigzag stitch to close everything off. The lady in the tutorial doesn't do this, but I just really want these pants to be as durable as possible. I'm going to do that real quickly, and then we're going to join them together, which I think is going to be the most satisfying part. Just to emphasize what I was saying about the ironing, look at how beautiful these seams look versus this. I mean, they look fine, but this, in my opinion, just looks so much nicer. So this is why I take the time that I do to iron everything. Alright, we've finally gotten to the part of this project that I've most been looking forward to, which is attaching the legs together. So, I believe what we've got to do is have a leg inside out. So this is my inside out leg. Then we've got to take the other leg, turn him the right way around. Then we've got to put, okay wait, so we want the inside out piece to be on the outside. So I'm taking the one that's the right way around and feeding it on the inside. Okay. Oh, okay, coming. Need my pins. After the next two pieces that I'm making specifically for this vacation, we will more be headed into like the winter period, keeping in mind we live in the Mexican Caribbean. Basically what I'm asking here is if you guys have got any really cute autumn pieces that you'd like to see me make. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to make like a full-on trench coat because It just doesn't get that cold here. So I'm looking for like some really cute autumn pieces that I can make. I'm so open to your suggestions. What do you guys want to see me making on here? Please let me know in the comments. We have a beautiful pair of pants. This is so exciting. They're looking very nice. I'm very impressed. Obviously, we still have to do the waistband and the drawstring and the hem, but so far, I'm loving these. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of them. So I'm just going to quickly try them on because I'm very curious, and then I'm going to, of course, press the seam and then zigzag stitch them just to reinforce them. And then we'll be moving on to the waistband, which I've been a little bit like, not concerned about, but I've never actually done holes. I think it's going to be the buttonhole setting, I believe, you know, to make the holes for the drawstring. The legs are very loose and baggy, which is actually great. I'm very happy with that. And it seems like even once I trim the bottoms off, they're still going to be long enough. I was really expecting something like this, which I'm very happy they are not that short. Now that the main parts of the pants are constructed, I'm going to be working on the waistband. Just got to measure how long this is. 55 centimeters, and then I'm going to add 1 centimeter to either end. And then I've got this really nice thick elastic, which I think is perfect because the pants are already like very baggy. I think the thick waistband is really going to complement them well. Oh, that looks perfect. So they overflow just by a little bit, but that's okay because I need to join the two waistbands together. So I'll just have a bit of a bigger seam allowance, like 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. All right, so now this is my waistband. It fits perfectly around the top of the pants, but now we're going to be folding him in half. Yeah, perfect. So we've got enough space to attach the bottom here to the actual pants. Yeah, we just have a little bit of extra room, which is perfect. This fabric is an absolute pleasure to iron. My gosh, it just presses so nicely. My husband and I are heading to a little colonial, well, not little, we're heading to a colonial city here in Mexico next week. It's called Mérida. And because it is so hot just in the Yucatan Peninsula in general, but specifically in Mérida, like the temperatures in Mérida through the summer are brutal, they make a lot of linen clothing. Part of that trip is going to include fabric shopping because I really feel like I'm going to find a ton of beautiful high quality linen for probably very affordable prices. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't know, we'll see what we find, but of course we'll be documenting that journey to share with you. And I don't know, do you guys want to know the price of fabrics here in Mexico? Because I feel like this is a great quality linen and I only paid just over $10 for 2.5 meters, which I think that's pretty good. I don't know, I've never gone fabric shopping in the States, so I don't have anything to compare it with, but I think that's very, very reasonable. Okie dokes, so that is the start of our waistband. I've marked where I want the holes to be so that the drawstring can come through. I'm going to have to figure out how to use the buttonhole setting on that machine. I have never made a buttonhole before, never put a button on anything. I believe this is the type of foot that I'm going to have to put on. I'm going to have to go watch a YouTube video, educate myself on how to actually do this. It's already almost night time. It's time for Ted's walk. We haven't had dinner yet. So I think I'm just going to go watch the video and get prepared, and we'll have to come back tomorrow to finish these pants. I know I didn't finish them today, but it's okay. Tomorrow we definitely will get them done. It's really essentially only the waistband and the hem, and then we've got ourselves a pair of pants. So I'm very happy with the progress today. I'm very happy with the way it's turning out, but yeah, it's just time for me to go and do mom things and have some dinner with my husband. So today is the day that we finish the linen pants, hopefully. No, we will, there's not that much left. I found a tutorial that shows me how to do buttonholes on my specific machine. I thought that it was an automatic buttonhole thing, but it doesn't seem like that is the option on my machine. It's a 4-step process, which is all right. I'm obviously not going to be trying it out for the first time on the waistband that I've already put work into. So I've just got these little cutouts, and I'm going to try the buttonhole on one of these first to see how it goes. So this is my buttonhole foot. I need to take my regular presser foot off just by lifting that lever, and then I'm going to be attaching this one using this little bar here. There we go. Okay, I just had to double check the video. So she suggests also making these little marks here. Then I'm going to move my lever to the buttonhole setting that has a 1 on it. It's got a 1 and a 3, and then this one's 2 and this one's 4. So we're starting on 1, and I also want to make the length 1 where it looks like a little buttonhole. That's where I'm putting my length at. Then I'm adjusting my width to number 6. So to begin, I'm going to lift my presser foot, and then I'm going to be making sure I can see this bottom line through the little hole here. So let's see. So you guys can see, I can see my little pencil mark through this hole here. Then I've got to put this on 2. And then we come back here, and then I stitch up the length. Then I've got to put this on 3. Then we do some more stitches. Make sure my needle is at the highest position, and then put this on 4. We go down. I believe that's it. Yeah, actually that looks pretty good. Has the bear come for a visit? Hi, Babs. Hi, little Babs. So after this little test square, I think I'm now confident enough to do the real waistband. I don't know how easily I'm going to get these pencil marks off of this fabric, but I don't have any of those wash away markers. Yet another thing I want to add to my sewing wish list. Oh no, and I lost my thread. Okay, lifting up my needle to the highest position, we go to number 2. Going to number 3. Number 4. And I believe, do we have a successful buttonhole? Yes. Yes, this one actually turned out nicer than the first one. If there's something that I must say about the sewing journey is every time I learn a new skill, I get like a thrill, I get like a high from it. It really brings me so much satisfaction. Sewing buttonholes, check. So these are my 2 buttonholes fresh out of the sewing machine. To finish them off, I've got to use a hand sewing needle to take these little threads and just thread them through and make sure it's nice and closed off. Then I can use the seam ripper to just make a little hole there and there.
Sharp eyes, short hair, soft skin, it isn't fair. Can I get close to you?
Alrighty-yo. So because the waistband is all prepped, I can now attach it to the pants. So front center of the pants to the front center of the waistband, and then I'm just going to be working my whole way around, attaching it with pins, and then we can head over to the sewing machine.
One drink, two puffs, three looks, I've had enough. Come on, baby, let's get to it. 'Cause you got my head a swimming, yeah, you do. Can I keep up if I'm swimming next to you? I'm past the point of no return, you think eventually.
So I've carefully folded the waistband over and tucked in a little bit of the fabric underneath, pinned it the whole way around. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go and carefully sew along this line because we don't actually have a lot of fabric to work with here. So I need to go carefully sew along here, making sure I leave a little gap about that big so that we can feed the elastic through, which I think is going to fit absolutely perfectly. So I've got a straight stitch with the length of about 2.5, and I've got my needle to the left hand side. I really need to be careful to sew as close to the end of the fabric as possible so I catch everything in, because I showed you there's just a very little bit of fabric that's folded under. I think I did a good job in catching everything. Let's just check. I think I'm going to have to pick a bit of a bigger hole here because the hole is honestly like that big. Definitely not big enough to feed the elastic through. But yay, this is exciting. If I were a Gen Z, I'd be planning to put these pants here, but I am not, clearly. So they're going to actually go right around my waist. So I'm going to measure my elastic band around the smallest part of my waist, but something that I learned when I made my linen skirts is I made the elastic the exact size of my waist. But what I did not realize, which I now know, is the weight of the garment is going to pull it down. So I'm going to make this elastic band about 2 to 4 centimeters smaller than my waist so that it actually holds it up. But yeah, we are getting there. I think we're going to be done really soon. So I decided to go 2 centimeters smaller for my waistband. Hopefully that will be enough, but we've also got to keep in mind that there will be a little bit of overlapping later on to close off the band. So that will give us like another centimeter, if not 2. It really is helpful to put a safety pin in both sides of the elastic band, especially if you're going to have a lot of bunching up. What actually happened last time is the elastic was just getting pulled into the other side of the waistband without me even realizing. So this helps prevent that. Okay, located. So now I'm going to just feed this elastic in through this little hole. Okay, I'm just going to attach the safety pins to one another so I don't lose the elastic. Before I secure the elastic though, I'm definitely going to try them on just to make sure that it feels right, that I'm happy with the sizing, and then we can go ahead and close off the elastic band. Cool, I feel like the waistband feels perfect. I'm very happy with the sizing on this. Not too tight, but it's holding up the pants perfectly. So yeah, perfect. I'm going to just be securing the elastic band, closing off the channel, and then we've got to start with the drawstring. Before I get ahead of myself, I went and checked the tutorial, and what she actually does is she sews a straight stitch along, actually 2 straight stitches along the elastic waistband part. And at first I was like, oh, maybe that's just for decorative purposes. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's actually done to make sure that your gathering stays equal around the waistband. And I also suppose it would help prevent the elastic band from twisting in the channel. And the way she does this is she's actually pulling her elastic waistband the whole time that it's going through, which I'm a little bit nervous about, but I don't know, I'm just following instructions, so we'll see. Oh, lucky I checked. I am out of a bobbin. No. I actually like the way that this is looking. But I need to fill my bobbin, so.
Are you feeling hot?
Yeah. Alright, so I did another line of stitches, just like she shows in the video, but I kind of regret it. Not kind of, I definitely regret it. The thing that I don't love about the second line of stitches is that I went like really wonky because I didn't have like a point of reference to refer to. The first line was easy because I had the end of the waistband that was keeping me straight. So I don't love this. It's okay though. I think there's enough bunching up for you to not really see it. It's okay. I'm not going to unpick this. I'm too scared of like ruining the waistband. Anyways, moving on. Now I'm going to be making the drawstring. So essentially I just need to cut one long 1.4 meter piece of fabric, and then we're going to be folding it over and ironing it over and making our own drawstring.
Hear the songbirds sing, see the sunlight touch your skin, feel the mountains close.
We've got my lovely husband making burgers for us with blue cheese and tomato and what else?
Queso? No hablo inglés. Queso.
Queso. So we've got our nice long strip. I actually just used the selvage edge, which doesn't matter because it's going to be folded in twice, so you won't even see this. So I've got my nice long strip and I'm going to be folding it over once, and then I'm going to be folding it over again, if that makes sense. And then once it's folded over like that, we can take it to the sewing machine, close them up, put them in the pants, and then we just need to do the hems. Just as Giovanni is finishing up with lunch, I finished my drawstring. I finished ironing it. It still needs to go to the sewing machine to close it off, but we've ended up with a really nice, perfectly sized drawstring. Very nice and closed. You can't see any of those selvage edges or whatsoever. We just need some reinforcements, obviously, to make sure it stays closed. And I'm going to just show you what we're having for lunch. Ooh, this looks amazing. So we've got some potato wedgies, burger with lettuce, onion, tomato, 2 mini patties, cheddar cheese, blue cheese, and guac. Thank you, husband. I'm sure you can imagine, but lunch was excelente. It was so good. I know that blue cheese is not everyone's cup of tea, but man, there is nothing like a loaded blue cheese burger. Delicioso. I'm just going to be sewing along the drawstring, and then we are so close to being done. Okay, so you see how it's turned inside out here, pushing it back on itself. And now we close it, and I'm just going to be sewing the whole way along. So we've got ourselves a pretty legit looking drawstring. We're not looking for perfection, we're just looking for progress. And the fact that I've never made one of these before and it turned out looking like this, I'm very happy. So I'm just going to be threading him through these little buttonholes that we made earlier on using a safety pin. Is this going to fit through the buttonhole is my next question. I think it might just make it. Cool. So look, can you guys see the drawstring is going in there? Just got to feed it the whole way around. Oh no, my safety pin is opened. Oh no, how are we going to undo this now? So I got the safety pin out while I was feeding it through. It came undone and then it was getting caught, so it like pushed the safety pin open and now the drawstring is stuck kind of like here, not that far from the opening. Instead of feeding this part of the safety pin, the part that opens and closes through first as my leader, I'm going to go from the other side, so I'm not like putting so much pressure on the opening. Hopefully that will work. But yeah, if you guys have got like any tools or gizmos or gadgets that you can recommend that makes this easier, I'd love to hear all about it in the comments. Por favor. So much. It's just very tight. Oh, I just got it. Oh my gosh, yes. So we've got the drawstring in and I love it. I feel like it just completes the whole upper part of these pants here. The hemming is the last thing that I need to do. Obviously you can see these pants are very long, but I also know that linen shrinks when you wash it. I also just had a thought that I probably should have washed this fabric before I made this garment. Because these legs are so long and they're such an oversized kind of style, what I think is I'll just do like a very dramatic hem, like a nice thick hem. Do you like my pants, my baby? Is that why you're smiling? We've got an extra 4 centimeters, literally just on this one leg, on this one seam. I think I'm gonna have to cut that piece. Okay, so that's essentially what came off. You know, the pants are like very oversized. We've got a very thick waistband. I think a very thick hem might help to balance things out a little bit. Plus I've got a lot of extra fabric to play with. The first fold will be about 1.5 centimeters. I can't believe that I just made my very first pair of pants. This is so exciting.
With my eyes open, washing light from another.
Okay, so I think I'm going to do about a 3 centimeter hem here. I think that'll look nice.
I wanna hear you laugh. I wanna hear you cry. Just wanna hear you use your words.
Okay, we are officially done. The hems are in. All I've got to do is try them on, and that is my very first pair of pants from scratch. Well, actually, just my very first pair of pants, full stop. But wow, this was a journey. I am so happy with these. They are just, oh, I love them. Obviously, if you look up close, you can see that there are imperfections. But if you don't look too closely, they legitimately look store-bought. I'm so happy with them. When I originally was drafting this pattern, obviously because I'm not familiar with how patterns should look, I did not expect for them to be so wide and baggy. So when I first started to see that in the fabric, when I was constructing them, I was like, But now that they're all together, I actually love this very wide, baggy look. I think they look very like upscale, very luxurious. They're obviously super comfortable. They're so roomy. Oh, I'm so happy with them. If I could just change 1 or 2 things, I will definitely make the pockets a lot bigger. These are fine. Like my phone can still fit in here, but yeah, there's not much room. I think I would make them like, yeah, quite a lot bigger. The waistband, I actually think I do like this additional thread down at the bottom here, but I need to get myself those like tailor's pens, those ones that wash off when you wash your clothes, so that I can actually mark the line so I can make it straight. Other than that though, so happy. This is actually the fabric that I'm going to be using for my very next project, which is going to be a very cute Peter Pan styled blouse. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that one. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. I know it was a real journey to get here. To let me know that you made it all the way to the end, let's leave a secret emoji, which can be a taco. Yes. That being said, we'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.